Good afternoon. In this video, I want to deal with the recent schism that's developed over the disagreement between J. Rebellion 1611 and Jason. And you get an example of this in Acts, where Barnabas and Paul split over taking Mark on a missionary journey. It's Acts 13:36. It starts out, and you read in Acts 13:13, where he pulls back. Interesting, 13:13, verse number. And then, of course, by 2 Timothy 4:11, you see him commending Mark, because he's profitable for the work. Mark was also commended, involved with Peter, 1 Peter 5:13, I believe that's verse. Now, don't you know, when Barnabas and John, Paul argued about this, that there was a schism that developed over this? People arguing that Barnabas is right and Paul is right. Barnabas is the one who took Paul in with fellowship when no one else would touch him, near the guy, because of his history of killing Christians. But Paul said, I'm not trusting this guy. I don't trust him to go on a missionary journey with me. I have to pull him back. Now, is Paul willing to do so? No. Paul had every right not to trust him. What was Mark's responsibility at that point? Not to condemn Paul for not trusting him, but to prove Paul wrong in for not trusting him by his actions. That was Mark's responsibility. So Paul was not wrong in saying, I can't trust this guy. That's how he felt. He was basing on saying, look, I'm just going to trust anybody. Again, Mark again, you're not going to give him a second shot. Barnabas said, he's repented. Let's give him another shot. He was willing to accept him. Paul wasn't saying, no, I wouldn't do it. And so Barnabas and Paul went their separate ways with it. In fact, they said it was a bitter disagreement. Let's see, Acts 13:36. Oh, 15:36. It's actually 15:36, I believe. Yeah, 15:36. And some days after Paul said unto Barnabas, let us go again and visit our brethren in every city where we have preached the word of the Lord, and see how they do. And Barnabas determined to take with them John, whose surname was Mark. And Paul thought it not good to take with him, who departed from them from Pamphylia, and went not with them on the work. And the contention was so sharp between them that they departed asunder from one from the other. And so Barnabas took Mark and sailed with him, sailed unto Cyprus, and Paul chose Silas and departed, being recommended by the brethren unto the grace of God. And the contention was so sharp up between them. Well, what do you think Barnabas is telling Paul? Mark deserves a second shot. What are you doing, Paul? And Paul said, oh no, I'm not giving this guy another shot. And Paul had every right to say that. His view was Mark had to prove himself. And when Mark proved himself, then Paul said, yeah, I was wrong about Mark. He really did show himself to be good work. Now, Barnabas has shown more of grace by taking Mark in despite his failure. But that doesn't make Paul wrong. And so Mark couldn't step back and tell Paul, say, oh, Paul, you need to, you're wrong in not taking me on a missionary activity because you need to trust me. And well, Mark needed to say, I'm going to prove Paul wrong. I'm going to prove to Paul that he was wrong not taking me. That was Mark's responsibility. Not to criticize Paul, but to prove to Paul that he was wrong and not trusting him anymore. And that's what he did. And we have others people going back and forth, on this, and saying, I'm never going to do this, I'm never going to forgive somebody, I'll never, and you use the word hate. Christians don't hate each other. But it doesn't mean they have to like each other. We don't hate each other, but we don't have to like each other. They're different personalities. Some personalities just do not gel with each other. So we get this midnight day, we're supposed to be, be friends with one another in the sense of you're friendly, you're cordial, you're kind to one another, considerate of one another. But it doesn't mean you're intimate with one another. You share things with one another. Different personalities. So here's a case where both guys could be right. Barnabas showing grace to Mark, and Paul had every right not to trust Mark. And Mark's obligation was not to criticize Paul for not trusting him, but to show Paul through his actions because he was wrong in pulling back. And yeah, he repented of that. I was wrong. He admitted I'm wrong for pulling back, but he did pull back. And so Paul was clearly very upset about that. Because there's serious contention over it. He said, Paul said, I'm not dealing with this guy. It's like desertion on the field of battle. The red badge of courage. The guy actually beginning he deserts out of the field, then he comes back and becomes a hero. So guys, people need second chances. But if he doesn't get a second chance, that's not Mark's problem. Mark's issue is now showing for his actions that he truly had repented, changed his mind about what he had done, about pulling back and said, I've just made a bad mistake. I'm going to get this right, and people are going to see me now that I'm solid. And that Paul was wrong in not taking me in a mission activity. But he can't denounce Paul for not taking him on the mission activity. So somewhere along the line, Paul said to himself after seeing his ministry, Mark's ministry, and going with Barnabas and Peter. Peter mentions in 1 Peter 5:13, saying, "Yeah, I was wrong not taking trust in Mark. That guy's really proved himself." He's really shown himself to be something. But it's not for Mark to demand that Paul accept him. All Mark can do is prove by his actions that Paul is wrong. But Paul has every right to say, oh yeah, I don't have any ill feelings toward Mark, but I'm not taking him on a missionary activity with me. I'm not trusting him. Now Barnabas was showing more grace. But Paul was just being practical. He says, I'm not going to go through that again. I don't want to deal with the guy anymore. Eventually, years later, he does deal with him later on. He says, bring Mark. I want to deal with they fellowship again. And there are groups taking sides on this issue. Back and forth. Barnabas is right. Paul is right. But the issue comes down to Paul had every right. He was not sinning. He had every right to say, I don't trust the guy, and I'm not going somewhere on a mission active I don't trust. And fellowship with the guy I don't trust. And Mark had his responsibility in this was to say, yeah, I was wrong in pulling back. And I understand Paul's feelings on this issue. And I'm not going to press it. What I'm going to do is prove Paul wrong by my actions. So Paul's eventually going to come around to say, yeah, I was wrong with Mark. He proved me wrong. And that's how you resolve the schism. So hopefully we'll learn from this. And one thing you don't throw around words is the word hate. Christians don't hate each other. And that's the point Jay made. First John, so First John, if you hate, you're in darkness. You can't hate anybody. You don't hate Christians. Doesn't mean you have to fellowship with them. You have to fellowship everybody. You just have to be kind to them, tolerant. But it doesn't mean you're going to be close to them. You don't like the guy, someone rubs you the wrong way, leave him alone. But the point is that this is not a doctrinal issue. You separate over doctrinal issues. That's the point. Doctrinal issues, when guys are going to heresy, you separate from them. I can't, serious doctrinal issues, not marginal ones, but serious ones that are really heresies. So, take a look at the issue and look and say, look, both guys can be right. Barnabas was right to take Mark with him. Paul had every right. This is 1 Corinthians 6, where people are suing Christians. Christians are suing each other. And what did Paul say? Wouldn't it be better to be wronged? Wouldn't it be better, not to sue a Christian and take, and be wronged to give a bad witness to the heathen? So, we get these things, just let it go. Let time heal these things. Time will do it. A year, 2 years, 3 years from now, you'll forget what you're arguing about. What were we arguing about? But don't keep piling on the wood, on the fire. Jay has every right not to trust Jason after Jason's apology to Robert Baker. He considers him unstable. A lot of us have forgiven Jason. Jason said, I've renounced that apology and come back. But Jay has every right not to trust him. That's his right. So what's Jason's responsibility? To prove Jay wrong. To prove him wrong, say. So a year from now, 2 years from now, Jay's looking, boy, that Jason, boy, he's solid as a rock. I was wrong about him. He's not double-minded. He's focused. But you don't go after Jay for not trusting you. You just say, okay, I'll change that. I'll show Jay that he's wrong. And hopefully one day he'll say he is wrong. But Jay's saying, you have to show me, Jason, by your actions. And that's a legitimate request. For those of us who've forgiven Jason and say, yeah, okay, you made a mistake and get back on. You say, fine. But we don't say, look, Jay is not wrong, that Jay's out of our line for not doing the same thing we're doing. We're saying Jay has every right to demand some type of proof over time that this isn't going to happen again. So both Barnabas and Paul were right. And Paul had every right. It was right in the sense he had every right to demand actions for Mark to prove that he was stable and he could be trustworthy. And Mark eventually proved that to Paul. So I'm going to stop and put this up. Amen. Thank you.